So what was out of all, I think 3 of your businesses, which one was the hardest to open and which one is the most fulfilling to you?
It really just depends on the day, because I would say the hardest to open would be Creative Space, because I was creating something that I've never seen before, and God told me to do it. So I wasn't doing something that I had a blueprint. I was doing something where I had to listen closely to God. Like, God, how am I doing this? Like, they're talking about this. I don't even know what I'm doing. And I don't have a background in podcasting or music. That's not me. So I gotta trust you. Like, how do I know what kind of equipment to get? How do I know what music stuff to get? How do I know, how the kitchen is going to be set? Like, God, how am I doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what license do I have to apply for? What policies what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? So I had to constantly stay so close to God that I hear exactly the moves that He is telling me to make. And it's their strategy. And then fulfilling, it just really depends on who says something that day, because I can walk into the day. I can walk into daycare. I see that kid, oh, Miss Aisha, and people, I'm like, oh my God, like
I needed that.
I needed that. Like, I love y'all. Like, I'm so happy I got these kids around me. But it could be a bad day. I'm like, I'm over it. I sell it. I don't want it no more. You know what I'm saying? I can go into the restaurant and walk in. Somebody like, oh, I come here all the time. I be seeing your things. Like, you doing your thing, girl. We appreciate you. And I'm like, oh, thank you, girl. I was just about to quit yesterday. Like, thank you, that helped me, And I go into Creative Space, and then the people who are building their business in there, they're like, you don't understand. This is such a blessing to me. I didn't know I was going to do. I was able to catch up on my bills. And I'm like, yes, God. Like, they fixing their credit. I'm like, yes, we're making movement. Like, we're moving. People's lives are being changed. So I think that I have just created businesses that have created an ecosystem for people's lives to be transformed and changed and to be elevated. So I think I would just have to say that they're all like a blessing to my life.
Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell. This is Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You tuned in to another episode of Strategic Moves. I'm your host, Kenn Dowell. This is a place where we bring art, culture, politics, and business all together, and we do it every week right here on this channel. But when I'm not shooting this podcast, I am the owner of Strategic Resources, where we specialize in political campaigns, government, and public relations. I've been doing it for over 25 years right here in this state, and met some interesting people along the way, and we want to make your next move a strategic move. And this program gives me an opportunity to do just that. I get to bring on some of the people I met. We come on, we talk about some of our experiences, and maybe, just maybe, it's something out of it you can get that will help you in your business or your personal life. If this is something you think you'll be interested in, all I need you to do is hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell as well, so that you will know the next time this program is coming up. So, without further ado, we're going to get started today. Today, we are continuing our little series we're doing on local entrepreneurs in our community and some of the stuff that they're doing in businesses and things of that nature. We want to use our platform as a vehicle for business owners and folks to be able to come on and sit down and talk about what they're doing. And we found some interesting people right here in Cleveland and around, so we're going to have them on our program from time to time so that you get a chance to meet them. So before we get started in our program, I was about to go somewhere else, but I thought about it. But before I go into that, I got to give a shout out to the best podcast producer in podcast history. I'm going to go history. How about that, Latif? DJ True, what's happening, brother?
Hey, what's going on?
Every day is a holiday, as they say, and today is one as well. Going to keep this thing moving. What's going on? What's happening in your world?
It's definitely not a holiday for my Cleveland Cavaliers. They got gentlemen swept yesterday, but I'm gonna shout them out. I'm proud of them. They got past the first round.
Yeah,
I know they're scrambling to figure out how they're gonna keep Donovan Mitchell, but they did really good. I think it was game 3. We went down 0-2, and Donovan Mitchell had a crazy game, like 40-point game or whatever. But then everybody was banged up. Like yesterday, we watched the game. They tried to keep it close, but without Donovan Mitchell, Jared Levert, and
Jared Allen, yeah.
And the other guy's name, Levert. Can't remember his first name, but all 3 of them was out.
We got to have a team in order to win. So you knew that was going to happen. Only one of the 4 that was in was Darius Garland. And it's Karis LeVert, I think. Karis LeVert. So he was hurt. So we had 3 major players out. They did what they could do. And Boston been the better team all year.
So I guess they move on, and
we come home.
Shaq and my boy Chuck, we gone fishing.
How about the fact that LeBron was in town? You think he's thinking about coming back to play here?
Like they were saying, LeBron is very strategic. For one, I guess the official story was he was in town for Mother's Day. Savannah was seeing her mother in Akron, and he was seeing his mother in Akron. And they just decided to come to the game, which the game was on Monday. But I think there's a lot of talks going on that LeBron wants to own a team. So could it be the Cavs? And plus, Bronny just got cleared to be drafted in the NBA. So I'm pretty sure Rich is talking to teams, seeing what they feel about Bronny on getting drafted.
That's going to be a whole nother show. We're going to talk about that one.
That's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show, man. Bronny getting drafted.
LeBron, Mr. Strategic, King James, he always got his mind on the next move.
I'm with you. Today, the guest we got in the house today been having her mind on a lot of moves. She has quite a few businesses here in Cleveland, and she's coming on today to talk a little bit about some of them. One of her businesses, we DoorDash quite a bit at our house. And she has a restaurant called Bite Creole here in Cleveland. She's an entrepreneur. She has a daycare center that she owns, and she has a place in Wycliffe called Creative Space. And we're going to talk a little bit with Miss Aisha. We're going to talk a little bit with Aisha Childers. Mm-hmm. And I want everybody in the place to welcome Miss Aisha Childers to our program. Miss Childers, thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for having me.
It's going to probably be easier for me to just call you Miss Childers, man, because I'm going to keep butchering that first name.
You think so? Hey, don't look at how it's spelled. I think that's what throws people off because they say Aisha because of the H's in there. Exactly. So just think of Asia like the continent.
Like the continent.
There you go.
There we go.
And you're good.
So, Miss Aisha, tell me a little bit about you. The way our program goes, we always get in your business a little bit. We want to find out where you're from, where you grew up at, and all of that. Then we're going to break it down to this business stuff you're doing. So tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you from?
I'm from Shaker. I grew up in Shaker. Yep. Went to Shaker Heights, graduated from there. Okay. I moved away for 1 year, moved to live in Arizona. I was able to get some exposure to business. People like us build business. Came back. I was a little homesick.
Wait. You wrote way too fast for us, man. We're going back to Shaker.
Okay.
So you grew up in Shaker. Mom, dad, brothers, sisters?
Yep. I have 2 younger sisters and then my mom and my dad.
Mom and dad. So you grew up with your mom and your dad. What your mom do for a living?
Right now, my mother, she passed away, but before she had a degree in marketing, she struggled to find like consistent work. But before she passed away, she worked for the government. Really?
And what your dad do?
He works in the service industry. So he actually works at Zanzibar. He's a server.
Really? So that's what he did all your lives?
He always served. Yep. He always served. Yep. He was always in the restaurant industry.
And with your sisters and brothers, you got 2 sisters.
2 sisters. Yeah.
They're younger than you?
Yeah, they're younger than me.
So you was always the oldest?
I'm always the oldest. Yeah.
How was high school growing up over there? You liked it? Shaker is a big school, and y'all had a lot going on.
Yeah, we had a lot going on.
Did you involved in school and all that?
So I was a cheerleader. To be honest, school was okay, but it wasn't something I really was focused on. I was more focused on my social life. Just being honest.
No, that's what we're here to talk about.
Focus on my
Everybody's journey is different. To get there.
Yeah. But Shaker did provide me exposure to different things. They had a lot of different things to offer. So of course I did take advantage of some of the things they had to offer. But I wasn't that student was like, I have a 4.0 GPA and I'm going to Yale. That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Oh, okay. So you took a little different path. Did you go to college?
I did go to college. Yep. I graduated from University of Akron with a degree in child and family development.
So you did go to college.
I did go to college. I did. But I wasn't like, oh my God, I got to take my SATs, my ACTs. That wasn't me. I worked during while I was in school too. So I was focusing on getting money. How can I get more money? What is this going to look like, to be honest?
I understand.
What year did you come out of Shaker?
I came out in 2008.
Oh.
Did you know somebody named Ashley Hughes?
Ashley Hughes. Yep, I know Ashley.
Okay,
yep,
that's
Ashley.
my sister.
That's your sister? Yep, I know Ashley. Yep, she's a sweetheart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you know that is your sister, huh? Ashley Hughes. That's Latif Hughes. Okay, excellent. So how was college? What made you pick Akron?
When I came back, I wanted to still finish. I did school in Arizona, but I wanted to go back, but I didn't really want to go to Tri-C. I wanted to go get a 4-year degree. So I was like, okay, Akron is cool. It's not that far. It's not that expensive. And I can start off and get an associate's degree, and then I can get my bachelor's degree. And that was a university that had that. And I did want a little bit of of that college life, but I really didn't get it too much. I didn't have time to focus on like partying and stuff like that.
You wanted to really buckle a little bit.
Get serious
About it. And so you graduated with what kind of degree?
Child and family development.
Child and family development. What made you go into that field?
Like I said, I wanted to get money. So what I was going to do was open up a childcare center, which I did. But in order to do that, you have to have at least a degree in early childhood education. So I got the associates in that. And then I was like, okay, I want to go back and get more information because I really like this field of study. And I feel like it will be very impactful for what I'm trying to do long term in the community and just understanding like how the family dynamics play a part in success in different cultures.
So in order to open up a child care center, you got to have a degree.
Got to have a degree, or you have to have somebody who's going to be your director or administrator to have a degree. But it only makes sense when you build a business, you want to have some insight into the world so that when you are operating, you're operating at a quality level because you know what the expectations are and you know how to move that capacity where you'll be profitable and you'll be sustainable and you'll also be quality.
So what was it like when you got your degree, you got out of school, you said, I'm coming back home. And so what did you do then?
So I worked for 1 year, I stayed there on campus. The other 3 years I commuted. So I worked at University Hospital. I worked in child psychiatry unit. So I was exposed to a lot of our youth having either behavior problems or attempted suicide or having homicidal ideations. And in that unit, it was a great place, but it was a revolving door for our youth. So I had to figure out a different way where we could provide services so that our kids are not coming back and they're actually being healed. And it's not just a Band-Aid being applied to their life. So
let's talk a little, let's stay on that point just for a moment. When you say a revolving door, give me more of what you meant by
a patient. They'll be discharged and they'll come back 3 or 4 months later because what is happening in their life is not really being identified and really taken seriously as to how we can really help this child. And I'm not going to lie. Yes, of course, medication helps in a lot of circumstances, but a lot of things can't just be fixed by a pill. You have to really get down and do that work. And you're going to need different supportive services in order to do that work. And it's going to look like a village. So I said, how can we create different opportunities so that we can really help impact our youth and help them not coming back because they're feeling depressed and they're feeling anxious and they don't have the true coping skills. They have them when they're here, but when they go back in home in their environment, they still don't have it, or they don't have it in the schools or in some of their community partners as well.
Interesting. So how long you do that?
I was there for, I want to say 5 years.
Really?
Yeah, 5 years. So I ended up writing a book. I'm sorry.
That's what we record. We got record. That's why we record. We can get you all together. Don't sweat it.
Yeah. So working there, I ended up writing a book, and my staff, my leadership, they were very supportive of everything I was doing. They supported me while I was in school. And when I wrote my book, I decided to put some things that I experienced as a teen because I was able to identify with some of the kids that were in that unit. And then I was able, the unit purchased books for me and was allowing me to give those students books when they were being discharged. And I had so many youth say like how this book helped them. And they were able to see somebody that looked like them who went through the same things, but suicide was not an option. There's different things out here that you can do to help you in your life. So that was a piece of it. And then I began doing different fundraisers within the city. So I started doing like book bag giveaway, school supply giveaway, feedings in East Cleveland, and partner with different people, just different things I can do to help impact our community. But doing that just self-funded wasn't enough because I had to figure out different fundraisers in order to raise the money in order to purchase the supplies. So my idea was, okay, if I open up an enrichment center, I can provide services on site, then I can take part of those profits and continue to do more. So that's how now I have the pull up and pop your truck event that we do every year where families can pull up, pop their trunk. We load them with different supplies, household supplies, toys, coats, and then we also give them a hot meal. We have a family festival in the summertime where it's free for the community. Come out, get food, play, bouncy houses, all kind of just coming together as a collective and understanding like we have to be more community centered in order to really build and do anything.
So what community are you doing this in?
So I do it, and I do the central area. So I work with CMSD and I work with the students at Benish and I provide services to them. And then I also do the South Euclid, East Cleveland Heights area. And then I'll also do the homeless population.
So what you do for the homeless?
I feed them every third Sunday. Go down there, talk to them, say they need a job, tell them we're hiring.
And you just fill the meals.
Yep, just give them meals, good, nice meals though, not like the bologna sandwich or anything. We have our beef po' boys, so I do stuff off the menu too.
Oh,
yeah, because they're gonna get great food, even though you're in an unfortunate circumstance. That doesn't mean you can't eat good. And a meal can turn somebody's life around. I'm about to go apply for this job right now, or I'm about to go call this person I've been neglected. So just giving them good quality food, letting them know they're loved. I also allow my students to get in on it as well. well. So I'll have them write like different notes on like the boxes to encourage them. So when they get their box, it says something nice, and then incorporating them and teaching them how to serve as well.
So we're going to take a few steps back because we jumped in a little bit. So you have a few businesses because you talked about all of them. So we're going to break them down.
Yeah.
The first business was the Enrichment Center.
Correct.
Now tell me, what is the Enrichment Center and where it is? Give us the location and what you do there.
Yeah, so we're located at 4266 Monticello Boulevard, right in South Euclid. And we provide a preschool and a school-ager program. Our preschool program is also funded by UPK, which is the Universal Pre-Kindergarten. So we have that. So we just provide quality programming. We do a lot of family engagement activities. So we allow our parents to come in and partner with us, and we include them on different things. Last month, we were planting a garden, and the parents came in and worked on planting a garden. We do summer programming for our youth, and we also take them different places and expose them to different things. And one of my partners, we'll talk about that too, is kids coaching. So she took the kids to Niagara Falls so that they could see the waterfalls. A lot of them never been out of town, out of the state lines. We took them camping in Michigan 2 years ago and exposed them to outdoors and canoeing and things of that sort. But we also focus on social emotional development inside and just building a relationship with the youth to know, just being honest with you, that one, you have support, and two, we're going to hold you accountable. And then we also, I feel as if our parents are very supportive of the services we give. So they understand if we have to redirect their behavior or hold them accountable for their behavior, we will do that because we want nothing but the best for the kids.
Now, again, what stage is for you?
So our preschool program is 3 to 5, and then our school-ager program is 6 to 12.
Really? How many students you got in there?
I have 30 school-agers, and I have, I believe, 17 preschoolers.
Really?
Then we have a youth culinary program as well. That's for our middle school program.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's why you made the program. See, you're interesting. Okay. All right. Well, that's very interesting to know. All right. And so tell me more about the program. If you wanted to go there, what do you do?
Yep. You could just call and set up an appointment to have a tour. We give you a tour of the space, show you what we have going on, talk about our curriculum and things of that sort. And then we enroll the families.
Interesting. Tell me about some of your partners then.
So for our youth culinary program, we partner with Tina Sweettooth, which does a baking program within our facility. So she comes and bakes with the toddlers for preschoolers.
Her name is Tina
Sweettooth, and she has a butter. Let me say about this butter pecan. I'm going to get off the topic. A butter pecan caramel cake. It is so good. We sell it at Bite.
You sell it at Bite.
Yeah, and then we also sell it at Creative Space because that's what we do. We create spaces for people to build. But so she's one of our partners. We have kids coaching with Beyond Barriers, which is a Christian life coaching company. So she comes in and she teaches faith-based programs to our students. So like really we focus on the fruit of the spirits because that's what they need at a young age, learning how to have peace and joy and love and things like that. And then we have Diane, who is Big Zen, Little Zen, which is a yoga studio. So she comes in and does yoga with our children as well.
Excellent. I hope you can get you some brothers in there to do something because I think it would be nice for them to see some guys doing something.
For sure. So sometimes I do have, it's Rabir Sparks. He'll come in over the summer sometimes and he'd do something with my kids, more of a social emotional. Also, Daoub? He came in, he does things with our program. And it was another one. He does rugby. I can't think of his name right now, but he started introducing rugby to the city of Cleveland. So he came in over the summer as well and did different things.
Excellent. So you have the Enrichment Center because you don't call it a daycare because it's not a daycare.
It's not a daycare.
No. And tell me the difference.
I think sometimes daycare can just be more so like a babysitting services, or it's just that we're bringing our kids here, they're watching our kids while I'm at work. And it's no, we're not watching your children. We are giving them skills. We're teaching them right from wrong. We're giving them opportunities to grow. We're not just sitting here and just letting them go and do whatever. And just being honest, I'm still young, but a lot of our kids nowadays are different than we were. One, because of social media, two, because of the exposure level that they have. So we have to do a lot of redirecting. We have to do a lot of planting new seeds to uproot some of the things they have been exposed to in order to keep them on the right track. Just with media alone, they're exposed to so many different ways of how a woman is supposed to show up or a young man is supposed to show up. So teaching them about respect, teaching them, and then providing them the opportunity to be in an environment where you have to practice respect is super important. So that helps to cultivate that child.
I was going to ask you, my next question was what are some of your biggest challenges you found in opening that center and working in that industry now?
Yeah, I would say Granted, I feel like the state is doing a little better as far as providing an additional funds, but funding, especially for the school ager program, we don't receive extra funds for our license in order to fund school ager programs. And that is where we need a lot of services. Yes, early childhood education is important when it comes to preschool, but those kids heading into middle school or right before middle school, they need that because they're entering into puberty, they're being exposed to drugs and substance. So that's when you really need to tackle in on them and provide additional resources. Like I said, I'm very grateful now. I'm in a space where my parents are supportive. I will feel in the past they weren't as supportive as to understanding the development of their child. And granted, a lot of the families we serve can be single parents. So I understand how hard it can be to try to work, clean the house, get your kids ready, but we have to figure out how we can find balance in order to still show up for your child in a way that still enables a positive growth for them mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually.
Yeah, that's always a challenge, especially with young parents and new parents. And now the parents are much younger coming in the door. So I know you have a lot of challenges in dealing with that. Let me ask you, as it relates to summer, and now that the summer coming up, you're going to have a summer camp?
Yeah, we have summer camp.
And how old and what's the summer camp all about?
Yeah, so I don't know all of it. I will not tell a story because I have a great team. So my team goes ahead and put everything together. I did glance over it. So they're going to be setting it up for different themes each month. So say, for instance, they're doing a solar theme and they're going to the science center and they're going to go outside and look at the moon and the stars. They were telling me all this stuff that they're doing. So we have different themes every 2 weeks. And then within that 2 weeks, they go on a field trip in regards to that.
How long is summer program going to be?
Want to say because we take them camping the second week of August, so up into so the first week of August at the end, and then we'll take them out of town to Michigan that second week.
So it's going up to August,
June 3rd into August.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so June 3rd to August. Okay, and how many kids you're going to get in? So I'm just trying to let people know you better come early, right?
You better come early because I want to say we are full because yesterday we had 31 kids in, so we like to keep it quality too. So keep low ratios and things like that. So excellent.
So the summer program going, you have your wellness. No, it's not a wellness center. It's called a
creative space.
No, we didn't get into creative. Okay. I'm still on your enrichment center. So we have the enrichment center along with the day camp.
Yep, correct.
That you're going to be doing, and in that day camp you're going to be doing lots and lots of various different things.
Yes.
All right, so you've been doing that. So that was your first business?
Correct. That was my first.
All right, so you got that going, you like that. So what was the second one?
The second was Bites.
Now, I'm a foodie, so I was just waiting for us to get down that road. What made you want to cook?
Okay, what happened was my mother passed away, and I love to serve. I just love to throw parties and cook for my friends and have them come over and let's do a game night or a vision board. So that was fun to me. So when my mother passed, I ended up being pregnant and having my daughter, and I was at home on maternity leave, bored. I'm just bored. I want to open up a restaurant. I want to cook. I want to do that.
The enrichment center wouldn't have known?
No. So literally I said that in December because my daughter was almost 6 months, and then I opened in March, and it was nothing but God, but opened in March, and it was that.
Let's talk about that because everybody who's into business like that and entrepreneurs, that's usually how it go. Okay, so the first step is what you're saying is I had a vision of what I wanted to do, and I implemented.
Correct.
So now you're gonna tell us all of those steps to implementing that, because that's not easy. And we're not going to let everybody think just open a restaurant like that. So you had to really go through some stuff to get, you had to get a permit, you had to find a location. So take us through that process.
So looking back, God is so good, but with having a daycare, you have to go through everything. So opening a restaurant wasn't as hard because it's fewer license. Because daycare, you have to have every license: food service license, fire license, state license, every license you could think of.
Wow.
So with the restaurant, it was like, I only have to get 2 licenses. Okay, so you get one, you have to find a location, but it's right next door to my daycare. So that
was that open already?
Open. It came open. I want to say that month or something.
Wow.
I'm like, you know what? It's already a system in here, so I can open up right here. And I didn't want to do the traditional soul food. I'm like, I want to do something different. I want to do Creole food. So I have a homegirl. She is from New Orleans. So I called her up. I'm like, I'm about to open up a restaurant. I need you to help me come up with a great menu and how I should do it. So she told me, you got to have po' boys. And I'm like, okay, cool. She's like, but you got to have a big bread. I said, perfect. She's like, got to throw gumbo on there. I'm like, okay, never made gumbo in my life.
I'm sitting here. Yeah, I hear you saying this now. She's not a chef.
She's not a chef. She's from New Orleans.
And you're not a chef.
I'm not a chef, but you have to do your research.
No, I did.
I didn't want to just look on the internet. I wanted to talk to somebody who is from there and there, and they know the flavors. They know what you're supposed to have. So even when people come in from out of town, they like, do you have this? And I'm like, yep, I got it.
So you actually went in because let's talk about your culinary. Was you a cooker, a person who cooked a lot? You said there's people who like to cook, and then there's people who can cook. Can you cook?
I think I can cook. Do you like my food? so
I told you we there all the time, so I guess so.
I mean, I think I can cook. I just think I think it's fun. It was a coping skill. I lost my mom. I got my daughter, so I'm about to cook. And even now, so I don't really cook in the kitchen too much. I just opened a second location, so now I am, but I'm about to retire out.
Because what I'm getting at with that is like what you're telling me is I talked to her and we gonna do. If she would have said we're going Asian, would you learn how to cook Asian food?
Yeah, but no, seriously, I would have called somebody who is in that,
but you
Korean
still gotta cook
Asian.
it.
I still gotta cook it, but once you tell me what I need to do, I'm gonna figure it out.
You figured it out.
So I figured it out. I had her come over. I did it too. I'm like, come over. I made gumbo. I made jambalaya. I made a pizza. I made all this food, and I had her taste it, and she was like, "It's good." Like, she like add a little bit. I had to add more gumbo filet to my gumbo.
What is filet?
I don't know. I don't know how to cook.
Listen, I know because I hear people say some people say they want it and some people say don't put it in.
Yeah,
right, so I never do
it. You gotta have it.
You say it gotta be in it.
You gotta make the gumbo, and it's just so crazy to get gumbo filet. It's like everybody is buying it off the shelves or something. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I be hearing them say put it in there or don't put it in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she came over. She tasted everything, and
you got down like
that. She said it was good. Yeah, and but my homeboy, so my child's father and I, we are in partnership at the restaurant. Okay. And he's a great support system when it comes to building. But his best friend, both of our friends, he was a chef. So he also came in and he helped set us up.
There you go.
Showed us how to do everything, how to execute, because you got to have a system in place. Like, again, we got to do this research. Like, who are you going to pull in order to build? And you have to bring in certain people of expertise. So he came in, he showed us how to run a line, how to set up a line and things of that sort. So that was a blessing. And that was
the food is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie on that. It's one of those spots where we be sitting around what you guys want to eat, and you definitely are in the top, I think 5 or 6 restaurants that every time they say, "Oh, you want? How about bite?"
Gotcha.
The text go around. All right. Then that's what we end up doing. But I didn't quite know that's who you were until a little while ago. Okay. I was doing all this other stuff, and my notes bite wasn't on there.
Gotcha.
That's who she is. Okay, excellent. Yeah. So I'm glad to hear about that. So in that, what was your biggest challenge though, you think, in doing it? Was it was business going right off the rip when you opened up and did your grand opening? Or
that was a blessing. Business was good. The first day we made a decent amount of money to never ever be in the industry. Marketing is key when it comes to restaurants. I was going to say,
now, what did you do to get that off the ground?
Social media.
You just went straight social.
We had to go straight social media. And social media was relatively new at that time when it came to like advertising for your business in that capacity. So we did that. We opened in 2018 and then 2020 came. It was the pandemic. So that was a period when everybody was scared about like shutting down. Everybody, we're going to close. I'm like, I'm not doing that. We're going to turn it up a notch. So we really went hard when it came to social media and it came to marketing and things of that sort.
And how did y'all get through the social media? What was some of your things you did?
Yeah, I became the face of the business. So I began doing commercials, talking about the space and making it fun. And that's what we like to do when we create content, is to make it fun, make it engaging and go from there.
Let's talk about COVID again, because entrepreneur with business. One side, it sounds, was doing okay. But did the daycare suffer during the COVID? Not the daycare, we're going to call it the
enrichment center.
The enrichment center. Did it?
It didn't. Like I said, God is so good to me. It did not. And that's why I said state did do a good job as far as making sure we had supportive funds in order to keep operating. My parents didn't want to pull any of their kids.
That's right.
So most of my kids, I did. So what happened was I used to service infants and toddlers full time. That was an opportunity for me to cut out that age group, which I wanted to do anyway. So I just changed my classroom. I closed a couple classrooms, but we continued to allow things to flow. We provided, we had sleepovers for the kids so that they could still have different things going on and they didn't feel super affected because they were on site doing school with us. So it was challenging, but we were able to work through it for sure. Okay.
And then you say as a result, the restaurant, you was booming with that.
We were booming. Yeah, that was a blessing because people were door dashing all the time and people didn't have anything to do but eat. So they were ordering, new customers and everything were coming in. So it was really great, honestly.
How you decide if you want to put something new on your menu?
What the customers may say. So like people has been asking about shrimp etouffee. So I'm thinking about doing a pop-up special for shrimp etouffee. And how I'm feeling. Like I said, I like to do it. I like to cook sometimes, most of the time, off of my feelings. I did a pop-up for shrimp and grits with salmon croquettes on top. And I was like, you know what? I just feel like making some shrimp and grits right now. Let me just throw it on here, do a video, and then go from there and see what happens.
So after you got your food how you wanted to taste and everything, then
Mhm.
your next step, did you hire you a chef, or you brought in people and you had to train them to cook the way you wanted to cook?
Yep. So my partner and I, he handles back end, I handle the front end. So I handle business operations, flow, and things of that sort. He makes sure everything is coming out with quality. Recipes, our seasons on our point, our sauces are on point. And then he was in the kitchen cooking for a little bit, for about 2 years. But we still did have 2 other people in the
Mhm.
kitchen because we are a cook to order.
Okay.
So we don't have anything like, we don't cook chicken in advance and then just drop it to reheat. When
Okay.
you come in there and place your order, we have to cook your raw chicken in the grease so it can cook. So that's why it takes 15 to 20 minutes. And then we were like, okay, now it's time for us to scale. In order to scale, we have to pull back and we have to bring somebody else in. So then we began hiring and then teaching them everything and then going from there.
That's wow. And so now you got the restaurant and it's doing well. I know it's doing good because we go there. So we know the restaurant doing good. The wellness center is.
So a ghost kitchen is where you have multiple different kitchen operators operating out of one space.
Okay.
And then they operate their own individual business.
So they're there during different times?
Yeah. Me and Taste are there together on Fridays and Saturdays. I'm there on Tuesday. She's there today on Thursdays. Carter's there on Sundays.
Okay.
Tina's there Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And then Truly Rooted, she sells, I believe, on Wednesdays and Thursdays, but she also produced to go sell at the farmer's market for Saturdays.
Okay. So they come in there, they cook all their food, and it looks like their restaurant for that day.
Yep.
And you get to come in and order what
they
you
get
want.
order, and if they want to sit down and eat, they can. Yeah.
Now, what else is in your creative space?
So we also have a podcast studio. We have a full service music studio, and then we have a content creative studio where you can just go in there and do different things. So photographers use it, and we have small intimate events like sip and paints, book signings, yoga classes, dance classes, things like that.
That's interesting. And so you say God spoke to you and wanted you to open up that space. Why that location?
So honestly, I had a different location in mind. I wanted it to be in Cleveland because my goal is always to really build up our community. And I tried so hard to purchase a building on 72nd and Superior. And it just was not going well. So it just didn't go well. And long story short, the building ended up being, it's built on Lake Erie. So it floods like constantly. So even if I work, because I had somebody go out there and check about pumping it. So even if I pump the water, the way the building is built, it's going to flood regardless. So it was like a disaster. And I kept trying to purchase this building. Like I literally was just like fighting against what God was telling me no. And I was like, yes. Yeah. So it didn't work out. So I got discouraged, and it's so good to have good people around you, because if you don't, that's how a dream could be lost or your vision could be lost.
That's right.
So that happened, I would say in September, probably August. In October, one of my team members, which is one of my partners, which is one of my friends, she came up, okay, it's time now. It's time to go find another building. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm done. Like, it is what it is. No, we're done. You had your moment. It's time to go find a building. And sure enough, that evening, somebody emailed me. They had the same name as my daughter. And I was like, okay, let me just see. So I reached out and I saw the space and I was just like, I don't know, this looks bigger than what I was trying to do as far as the capacity of having to build it out and everything. And it just flowed. It flowed for it to work and to just do how it's supposed to do. So it makes sense.
And it's making sense for you.
And it's making
working.
sense for me. Yes. And it's working.
Wow. And so if you want to use the podcast studio, how does that work?
So you can either go online and just book your time, or you can contact us directly, because sometimes people have questions about how the podcast work. And it's really self-service. So you go in, you push the power button, you put your headphones on. There's also a camera, and it's multiple cameras if you need it. You put your SD card in the camera, and you push record your sound bar, and then you're good to go. And then there's different like sound effects on the board and things like that.
So do somebody work that for you, or do you do all that yourself?
So you can do it yourself, but I always initially come in with the client first just to show them how to work the equipment, just so they can have a idea. So
is it set up where they can do multiple guests in there?
Yeah, for sure.
Really? Excellent.
Yeah.
And how much does something like that cost?
So it's $125 an hour, or for 5 sessions, $325.
It's not bad. It's not bad. And what else you have in the space?
I said the music studio, and then we have our open event co-working space.
Well, let's talk about the music space. What's that?
So it's a full service recording music studio with Pro Tools and Luna and all the stuff that you need to go in there and to mix and master and record your music.
Really? So if you want to go in there and make you a song or a rap song or whatever it is, you can go in there and do that.
Yep, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
How big is that? It's just a studio?
It's a studio. Probably
multiple people can go in there and do it too?
Yeah, for sure. You can bring instruments and stuff, and everything is soundproof.
Oh, you bring your instruments and everything?
Yeah.
How much is something like that?
That one, I have a special.
And we won't quote you. I know we're going to go to your website.
Fine. You're fine. You go to the website. So right now, that one is $95 an hour, or you could do a singer-songwriter package for $750. So that would include your stuff being mixed, mastered, auto recorded. It don't matter how many hours it may take to put it together.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
Especially people who are in the industry. That ain't bad.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the co-working space.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
So you could just come in and co-work. My idea for the space is, like I said, to create spaces for us to build, because we have a lot of bars. We got enough of that. We need to start creating spaces where we can come and learn something, and we can take tangible information, and we can do that over a cocktail, or we can do that over a meal. But let's come in here and really talk with one another about how we can build and get to the next level and not just stay complacent. So just allowing people to come in and co-work. So if somebody has a meeting, they can come in the space, have their meeting there. If they want to host like a seminar or a panel, they can do that. It's the space to build up our mind, our emotions, our physical, things of that sort. Financial literacy.
That's
like
excellent.
That.
That's excellent. Oh no, I think that's good. And that's open. What the hours that's usually open?
So we're open because of the restaurants. We're open Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. But if you want to book a table to come in and work, you can just do it at any time. Anytime between 8 a.m. and midnight, you can book your time. You just book everything online.
Oh, so you can be in there to midnight if you want to.
Yeah, because some people work late. I know a lot of creatives like get their juices flowing after 8 or 9, but you just have to go ahead and book everything online.
Interesting. You got a lot of good stuff going on over there.
Thank you.
And everything is contained over there off of Monticello with the restaurant and the center you have there, as well as now the business. I'm very interested in what you're doing out there in Wickliffe, and love to come out there one day and see some of the stuff that you guys doing. And maybe we'll advertise that a little bit for
sure.
you.
Yeah, we have 2 dope events. So tomorrow we have the men's panel. It's called Redefining Manhood with my pastor, Pastor Ray. So he's going to be on the panel, and it's just for men to come out, share. We need to create that space for them to do that as well. It's super important.
We'll definitely jump on that.
So if you are available, definitely come out tomorrow. It's going to be dope. The restaurants will be open and things like that. Then Saturday we have a super dope art show. So we'll be showcasing art in every capacity you could think of. So we'll have photography, we'll have live art going on, we'll have music as art, we'll have clothes, we'll have a small fashion show, a DJ set. 2 different DJs are going to come in
battle
and
battle.
I don't want to say battle, but they're going to play off of one another. They're going to play off of one another,
good.
starting in the 90s, bring it all the way up until now.
Sweet.
So just really showcasing people that look like us and things that we have to offer, because we have so many dope things to offer, but a lot of times it's not showcased, especially in media. It's portrayed a lot of times just in one way, and we have to be able to showcase, especially for the younger generation, like we are great, we are powerful, we have so many different things. Now let's showcase it and let's collaborate together to do it.
It's a shame you couldn't get to a 70-second spot, because something in the city is so needed like that.
Yeah.
But people go where they want to go.
Yeah, for sure.
And they can make it to Willoughby.
Willowick.
If they, Willowick isn't that far. It's just right
freeway.
Outside of
Euclid.
And so you can get there. It's not a big deal. But I really wish it would have been in the inner city, because that's the kind of energy we need.
Yeah. So it's coming. I've been asking God to allow me to do something in the Midtown area for so long, 4 years. So I know it's coming. I really want to be in the Midtown area because I can just see how we can pull our community by being in this central location. And then the way that they're building it up, it's only going to make sense to have something that I can create in that area. So
that's great. Well, you keep us posted on all of that.
Will.
So I'm going to give you some of my closing questions.
Okay.
And then we're going to let you get up
all
out
right.
of here. So one of the questions I ask my guest all along, because you answered, I had a bunch of questions for you, but you answered all of them without me having to go to my pad.
Okay.
See, you did a very good job. If there were one person that you could trade places with for a day, who would it be?
One person I could trade places with?
One person you can trade places, or if you can talk to. I ain't gonna say you had to trade places, but if it was one person you can come back or that's here, they can be living or dead, that you can talk to, spend a day with, who would it be?
Oh. That is a good question. I would have to say Jesus. I would have to say Jesus, because the way that he walked, the way that he communicated with people, the way that he saw people without judgment was very admirable. And I feel as if in order to build, in order to leave something behind, you have being in a relationship with somebody like that, being able to speak to somebody like that, it will adds so a layer on me that I feel like would be able to really touch people. When I leave this place, I want to make sure I leave an impact, not an impact of money, cars, clothes, but of people's lives being changed, and also allowing them to see exactly what their true calling and destiny and purpose is. I see a lot of times, so many people, sometimes they fail because of the people they had around them, and people around them saw them failing and they never said anything. So being able to talk to Jesus and just seeing how he moved, and he just had so much compassion, which is teach me so much more than what I can read about in the word. So I would say that.
Excellent. That's good. What's your guilty pleasure?
Oh, guilty pleasure. I probably have to say heavy whipping cream. Let me tell you, I cannot eat dairy. And I'm telling you, if I can get a shrimp Alfredo, and it'll mess me up. Like, really? I'm talking about mess me up. Like, I just can't do it. Or ice cream. But I can't even do ice cream no more. So I would say heavy whipping cream.
But you can eat heavy whipping cream.
I really can. But I do it just like, I'm going to just do it real quick. Just this second. I'm just going to do it.
So you just can't help it. Wow. That's a good one.
Yeah.
What's the best compliment you ever got?
The best compliment I ever got? Oh, is that time?
Oh, we gonna finish these questions.
I like beat by the time. Probably something around, I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but something around the fact that people, they understand exactly what I'm trying to do. They see me. They see that I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing it because I see other people, and I genuinely want other people to win. And I genuinely want other people that look like me to win, despite the things that we have went through in our life or we've been exposed to in our childhood. That doesn't really stop anything. So I think something within that realm.
Excellent. Something you wish you were better at?
Oh, releasing control. Not all the way though, God, just a little bit.
You're a control freak?
I'm not a control freak, but I like stuff a certain way, and then I like it my way. And sometimes that can get in the way of you receiving when somebody's trying to tell you something.
That's correct.
But I'm also the boss, so I gotta have that healthy balance, because I still just because I'm the boss doesn't mean I can't learn or listen or be directed as to how I can be better or do better. So
and you got to provide leadership.
Exactly.
And sometimes leadership is making the bad calls.
Yeah,
and that's part of the leadership
for sure.
What's the worst bit of advice you ever got?
Like being selfish. No, you don't have to worry about them. Do what you want to do. Don't trust people. Yeah, it is hard to trust people, but we can't go into things with that mindset. You know what I'm saying? Yes, people are going to burn you. That's just part of the game. No matter if you're an entrepreneur, if you're just regular doing 9 to 5, that's going to happen. So I think people saying those things like automatically, just don't trust people. You don't be careful. Don't be giving them everything because they're not going to do the same for you. That kind of stuff, that mentality.
What's the one thing that either you think about or you do to help you relax and help you laugh about it when you're having like a bad day and you're just like, man, but you can sit back on the couch and you think of a memory or something that makes you laugh every time you think about it?
Yeah, I honestly say it would have to be like me like worshiping or talking to God, because then once I do that, God creates clarity as to exactly what I'm sitting in. So then I start thinking like, I'm tripping right now. Like, why am I even going in, like going crazy? First of all, you have brought me all the way from here to where I am now. So if I'm tripping about this, like, this is goofy. You've done so much. I'm saying, so when I'm able to like really reflect and see exactly what's going on, and sometimes we just need to release something. We'll be so upset about how we feel about something. It's just because we didn't verbalize out our mouth, and then we say it out our mouth, we're able to start reflecting like, hold on, wait, am I really seeing this clearly? So when I like release it, give it to God, even if it comes out funky, because it does, it comes out, I'm irritated right now, God, this person is getting on my nerves, I'm about to cuss him out, what are we doing right now? And then God is, hold on, wait a second, like, I'm gonna take care of it. And then he does. So it's like, dang, I was tripping, I wasted all this energy and angry and frustration on nothing. Like, chill, you're good. And then just being able to sit back and see, like I said, where I've come from. Even though I grew up in Shaker, it wasn't like a silver spoon in my mouth or anything like that. It wasn't like I didn't have adversity. It wasn't like I didn't have to be resilient. It wasn't like I wasn't exposed to some of the things that even the kids in the inner city was exposed to, because I was. So to be able to come from that and to be able to sit where I'm sitting at now is amazing. I tell my daughter all the time, and I know y'all didn't have a car all the time when you were growing up. I know. And I was like, I'm just letting you know, because having a car is a privilege. Living in a nice area is a privilege. Being able to go on vacations and travel. She wants to go on a vacation every other month. I literally just took her to Phoenix last month. When are we going on vacation? when are you going to get some money and you take me on a vacation? Stop. But
Right.
being able to be like, God, thank you. Like, I can do this for my child, and understanding that I'm breaking these generational curses. I'm receiving these generational blessings. So I think that's what I would have to say.
DJ, you have a question?
Oh, now you want to remember me.
I was about to give the old hee-haw, brother. I say you got a question. I want to make sure I get you in.
So what was out of all, I think 3 of your businesses, which one was the hardest to open, and which one is the most fulfilling to you?
It really just depends on the day, because I would say the hardest to open would be create a space, because I was creating something that I've never seen before, and God told me to do it. So I wasn't doing something that I had a blueprint. I was doing something where I had to listen closely to God. Like, God, how am I doing this? Like, they're talking about this. I don't even know what I'm doing. And I don't have a background in podcasting or music. That's not me. So I got to trust you. Like, how do I know what kind of equipment to get? How do I know what music stuff to get? How do I know, how the kitchen is going to be set? Like, God, how am I doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what license do I have to apply for? What policies what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? So I had to constantly stay so close to God that I hear exactly the moves that he is telling me to make. It's their strategy. And then fulfilling, it just really depends on who says something that day, because I can walk into the day. I can walk into daycare, I see that kid, oh, Miss Aisha, and then I'm like, oh my God, like,
I needed that.
I needed that. Like, I love y'all. Like, I'm so happy I got these kids around me.
Right.
But it could be a bad day. I'm like, I'm over it. I sell it. I don't want it no more. You know what I'm saying? I can go into the restaurant and walk in. So I'm like, oh, I come here all the time. I be seeing your things. Like, you doing your thing, girl. We appreciate you. And I'm like, oh, thank you, girl. I was just about to quit yesterday. Like, thank you. That helped me, And I go in the creative space, and then the people who are building their business in there, they're like, you don't understand. This is such a blessing to me. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was able to catch up on my bills. And I'm like, yes, God. Like, they fixing their credit. I'm like, yes, we're making movement. Like, we're moving. People's lives are being changed. So I think that I have just created businesses that have created an ecosystem for people's lives to be transformed and changed and to be elevated. So I think I would just have to say that they're all like a blessing to my life.
I think you did excellent today. I think you did a great job. I think much success. Wish you much success in all your endeavors. You're doing very well. And you're listening to everybody. You're listening to your inner self. You're listening to the people that's talking to you. You're listening to your spiritual beings that's coming to you. So you're going to do well.
Thank you.
Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep moving forward.
Anything
we can do to help, we will. We're going to definitely be out there. You said that's tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow is the Redefining Men, and Saturday is the art show. It's going to be super dope.
What time is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow is 7:30. Saturday 5:30.
Yeah, I'm gonna come out there tomorrow, check your place. I want to see your place, and we may even do an event out there. And just to help make sure we help you out in that regard. I appreciate that. So what we do when we close most of our programs, we let you look in this camera belongs to you, and you get to say whatever's on your heart, man. You can say whatever you want to say to your audience. Make sure before you finish that though, make sure you give them all the locations and how they can reach you on those locations if they need any of that. And we will put everything in the descriptions where you'll be able to get that. But I'm going to turn it over to you. Take your time. Like I said, it's edible. So we'll edit it if you want to start over, whatever. Take your time, and that camera belongs to you.
All right. So first we'll go in. I'm Aisha Childers, owner and operator of Let's Make a Change, located at 4266 Monticello Boulevard. Also the owner of By Creole Kitchen, located at 4262 Monticello Boulevard. And then Create a Space, which is located at 30480 Lakeshore Boulevard in Willowick, Ohio. I am here to let you know whatever dreams, goals, and passions you have to continue to push forward. Believe in yourself. Don't give up. Understand everything is a journey. It won't happen overnight, but once you're consistent and you stay close to God, you can do anything. And I just wish the well for everybody. That's all, honestly.
Excellent.
That's it.
Hey, we're going to give you every link in the description on how you can reach Miss Aisha Childers with all her businesses that she has out here. Plenty that she got going. Very good spirit. And it's somebody you need to know. So again, check it out. You'll see us on our next podcast. And peace. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell. This is Strategic Moves with Kenn Dowell.